Hey guys, it's me, Pokemon. I'm gonna be bringing a really interesting video today. Before I made a video a long time ago where I looked at Avenger Alliance on the wiki and I was like, man, these characters are cool. Maybe we'll get them in Marvel Strike Force. And that was the end of the video. I always kind of wanted to do a little bit more with it. You know, I just never went as far with that video as I really wanted to. I didn't really have the time. But I decided, how about now? I took the time and I finally made this sheet that I always kind of wanted to do. And it really helps us determine who's going to be coming to Marvel Strike Force and who's not going to be coming to Marvel Strike Force. Now, you know, as a scientist in the Marvel mobile game industry, you know, this is my research into the characters that have come into all of the big Marvel mobile games. In this list, I've included Future Fight, Contest of Champions, Marvel Avengers Alliance 1, Marvel Avengers Alliance 2, Marvel Strike Force, and Avengers Academy. I didn't include the likes of Puzzle Quest because Puzzle Quest, you know, this is supposed to get an idea of what characters are worth investing time into design from a developer standpoint. You know, Puzzle Quest, is it really that hard to design a character? You know, Marvel Battle Lines, you know, you just kind of, you're like, Steve, draw a JPEG of this hero, and then we'll come up with some effects, and then we'll type up some skills, and there you go, they're in the game. It's really just a JPEG. It doesn't really, it's not a good assessment of how important the character is, or how valuable the characters are to the developers. So I feel like in all the games I picked, there was enough effort that went into putting a character in the game that it's worthwhile to account for them. And of course, fair warning, there are a total of, if we scroll down this list, there are a total of 273 Marvel characters, give or take, across all the mobile games. And there's absolutely no way that I got anything wrong when I was counting all 273 of those characters across the 6 mobile games. Nope. No way I messed up anything in here. But, you know, it doesn't matter. I'm not submitting this until my peers aren't reviewing this. This is just for fun. So without further ado, let's take a look at this list. So what I did is I marked them down as a 1 if they were in the game and a 0 if they were not in the game. And then what I did is I added all the values together to get us an idea of how many games all these characters are in. And essentially, the more games a character's in, the more likely they should be coming to Marvel Strike Force. You know, down here we have the mandatory characters. So these characters are already in all the games. Like, they're just pretty much base characters for the games. Always make it in. You know, they're already here. Nothing to really look at here. Then we have On Their Way, where they're on 5 out of the 6 of these games. So if they're not in one of these games, they're likely going to come soon. Of course, this is kind of skewed because, like, for Avengers Alliance, it was sort of before the time of some new characters who have been brought into relevance. So some characters weren't in Avengers Alliance 1. And then, you know, so like, for example, we have Doctor Strange. He wasn't in Alliance 1. He was not in Alliance 2, though. So he's not, that's why he has a 5, because he wasn't in Alliance 2. But of course, he's already in Strike Force. But pretty much anybody who isn't in Marvel Strike Force that's in the On Their Way category, we could likely expect soon. If we take a quick look through these, War Machine's been data mined, Venom probably coming with the Venom movie, She-Hulk's been data mined, Quake's in the game, Punisher's in the game, Nebula's in the game, Miss Marvel, that's Captain Marvel. She's always Miss Marvel to me because, you know, they changed her recently. You know, it was Miss Marvel, so to me she's always Miss Marvel, but Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, same thing. They're probably gonna come with their movie, so I wouldn't expect Miss Marvel until then. Heck, they might even hold Mick Fury. They're probably going to hold Nick Fury until that movie. It may be, possibly, he's going to be in that movie, so they might just be waiting to release him until then. Mordo, already in the game. Moon Knight likely will come soon. Miles Morales likely will come soon. Loki, he's almost in the game. Falcon's been data mined. Elektra's in the game. Doctor Strange is in the game. And Angela will likely come soon. So the big ones to note, Angela, Miles Morales, Moon Knight, and Miss Marvel, I believe. Those are the 4-ish ones that haven't been data mined and haven't been shown off in the game. And we could likely expect those characters to come soon. Because what's nice is Marvel Strike Force been kind of playing catch up right now. You know, all the Marvel mobile games are sort of expected to release an event for all the movies that come out, and Marvel Strike Force came out like right before a bunch of Marvel movies. We had Infinity Wars, that's where their first month went to, then Deadpool 2, that's where another one of their months went to, and then they had Ant-Man and Wasp, so they had to invest another month into that. We're gonna be getting some months coming up soon where they're not gonna have any movies they really have to do things for. The next one coming up is Captain Marvel, and that's a good bit away, so they actually have some time to put in characters they want to put in. So that's the kind of time I'd expect characters like War Machine, She-Hulk, etc. etc. Then we have the likely characters. I'd expect these ones to come not up next, but they're definitely gonna be coming in the near future. You know, we have the common characters: Black Bolt, Blade, Agent Venom. Agent Venom makes it in this category. MODOK, Karnak, Kamala Khan, you know, Nova, Red Hulk, Scarlet Witch, some other very common characters we see come to games, but aren't necessarily in every game, and they're not really the first characters to come to games. Then once we start to scroll down the list, we run into characters who show up less and less in the games, you know, even less, and then we have the oof category. And one interesting thing to note is I expected Avengers Alliance 1 to have the most characters in it, which I believe it did. Actually, be right back, we're going to do a little bit of math. Alright, so we can see that Avengers Alliance 1 had 166 characters, give or take. Again, you know, it depends what I counted as a character. You know, this is up to my own personal opinion. There were some characters that were in the game as villains, but never as playable heroes, so I didn't count them. And actually, Future Fight is right behind them at 161-ish characters right now. So really interesting to see. I didn't expect Future Fight to be that close. And of course we have Strike Force. If we scroll up to the top, Strike Force is sitting there at they're sitting there at 44 characters. So they've already passed up Avengers Alliance 2. Now of course Alliance 2 had different versions of characters, you know, Captain America, World War II, etc, etc. But I didn't count those as separate characters unless they're really different, like Spider-Man 2099 or something like that. So technically Alliance 2 is ahead of Strike Force, but I count Strike Force as ahead of Alliance 2. One thing I didn't expect from Marvel Strike Force is they actually had a couple of characters no other games really had as playable. Nick Fury, not actually playable in a lot of games. Night Nurse, not actually playable in a lot of games. Scientist Supreme, not playable in a lot of games. Ultimus, never heard of until this game. And there are also a lot of exceptions. You know, we have Sharon Rogers, Guillotine, Morningstar, Luna Snow, all characters created for their game. It'd be really cool if they actually transferred over to other games, because, you know, Future Fight actually created a couple characters for their game. Same thing for Marvel Contest of Champions. Marvel actually kind of allowed them to do that. And they did push them a little bit, but then they didn't push them enough in the lore, so they kind of just fade off, and once those games go away, they'll likely fade off into nowhere. I'd really like to see them come over to other games. I think it'd be fun to have crossovers with the games, but, you know, it's probably not going to happen. But, it's, you know, it's really fun to make this tier list. Really fun to take a look at characters that will likely come to Strike Force one day, characters that will probably not come to Strike Force one day. There's Man-Thing. Man-Thing's all the way in the oof category. He's probably not going to come. But let me know what you think about this list down below. Do you think some characters in the oof category stand a better chance of getting in the game? You know, do you think some of the if they feel like characters should come farther up? Did I completely mess up this list? And, you know, I couldn't count numbers. But at the end of the day, guys, what do I know about Marvel Strike Force and what characters are going to be coming to it? I am just a 16-year-old. Signing off, guys.